Everyone, welcome back to Bridging Innovation live here at Oglebay in Wheeling, West Virginia. Now I am joined with the guy who started it all, one of the many guys, friend and colleague who I've worked with over at the West Virginia Business Link and who now has shifted into a new role. I am happy to introduce Bill Woodrum. Bill Woodrum, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Really appreciate you all having me out today.
Yeah, well, Bill, I know you and I are kind of familiar with each other, but tell us a little about who you are and where you're at now and what kind of work you're doing.
My name's Bill Woodrum, native West Virginian. Always proud to say that my family has been in West Virginia on land in Winfield since 1820, so a long history in West Virginia. About a 30-year career here in community and economic development. Along with Tara St. Clair at the WVU and Cova Center, I about 5 years ago, helped start the entrepreneur ecosystem here in the state. And then last year, of course, we coordinated the first ever Bridging Innovation in Charleston, West Virginia, and it led to this one this year in Wheeling. And since then, I've had a transition. I now work for the Claude Worthington Benedum Foundation in Pittsburgh. I'm the Senior Program Officer for Community Development, Economic Development. So still working with a lot of the same people, getting to work with the ecosystem and kind of keep my hand in economic development in West Virginia, albeit in a different way through philanthropy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that when we spoke towards your transitional period, you talked about, now you're no longer asking for grants, you're the one giving out the grants.
Yeah, I quickly introduced myself to a lot of people saying, 30-year career, 29 as a grant writer, and now almost one as a funder. So it's been amazing, though. The Benedum Foundation has such a long, an 80-year history in West Virginia of funding in community development, economic development, health programs, education programs. I mean, such an important portfolio that really it has been a difference maker in West Virginia for 80 years now.
Yeah, absolutely. And since you were one of the people, along with some of the other members of the entrepreneurship ecosystem who were at the start, the conception of Bridging Innovation, you kind of talk about where it's at now as opposed to where you guys started, some of the changes and innovations we've seen.
Well, it's just amazing to see the businesses that have been served through the ecosystem over the last several years. It's really interesting to me. Benedum was one of my funders, and now I kind of flipped that around. Actually, one of the first grants I closed when I got to Benedum was an ag tech innovation system program that I had written and got funded by Benedum and then closed out as the Benedum officer. So it was really a neat opportunity, but the growth curve on this program has just been amazing. When I think about it, even before Tara, we 5 of us sat down in the workspace at RCBI in Bridgeport in like the fall of 2018, and we're like, we've been scheduling over top of each other, too many competing things. What can we do? And we started off with a Google Doc or a Google Calendar that people could fill in that said, I'm going to do this training here. And then, like quarterly meetings. And then we had, just all by phone at first. And then we had a live meeting and like 20 people came out, and we were blown away. 20, 30 people were in the room and we were blown away. And then, that was all happening in Charleston, Huntington area. And then I became aware of Tara's efforts up at WVU to kind of do the same thing up there. And we're like, we can't have 2 ecosystems. That doesn't make sense. So we combined our efforts, and to Secretary Warner's credit, he showed up to the very first meeting. We called a meeting we put out for anybody that wanted. Again, we had about 15 or 20 people there in a room only made for 10. The Charleston Civic Center had to move us to another room. Secretary Warner showed up, has been supportive since the beginning, but then, from that point, which I really mark as the beginning of the ecosystem, now over 150 organizations, entrepreneur-serving organizations in Business Link. The monthly calls are getting 70 and 80 participants now on Zoom every month that are supporting entrepreneurs who are doing real pitches, getting funds, getting TA, getting help. It's amazing to see where this program's come in such a short amount of time.
Oh, absolutely. And I think just having worked with you and seeing the growth of where it felt like a month to plan the first Bridging Innovation. Now we had like more time. We knew where it was going to be, and it's seen it grow expansively. And I'm so excited to kind of see the future. And since we're almost out of time, I really wanted to give you the opportunity to, how do people get involved if they want to get involved in the entrepreneurship ecosystem?
If you want to get in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, I think one of the great ways to get involved is either there is an entrepreneurship ecosystem Facebook group, but I got to go to my baby and say wvbusinesslink.com. It's right there. There is an agenda of meetings. The monthly ecosystem is in the calendar of events. You can look up any entrepreneur serving organization that you need. You can look up any service you need. And if you want to register your organization, you can do that right there as well in a couple clicks. You know, I'm always going to be loyal to that program and to the SBDC and the Department of Economic Development helping me get that up and running.
Yeah, well, it's been really great to see it kind of grow, and I hope it continues to grow and kind of really change West Virginia as I know it has.
I think, you know, I think that ship's out of the harbor now. You know, the work that the current members of the ecosystem are doing, Tara, Amber, some of the other members, it's just outstanding. And I think, you know, I say a lot, it's a nationally unique model. I don't think any state has the participation from private, from philanthropy, state, even feds are engaged. You know, the ARC has been very supportive of this effort because they see the promise for the system, for the region of Appalachia. So I think it's something West Virginia should be very proud of. If you're an entrepreneur that needs assistance, or if you're an organization from a chamber of commerce to a CVB to, you know, a tech startup support organization that's helping entrepreneurs, small business owners get engaged. It makes it better. We've got about 200 people here this week. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, and it's been really great to see all the efforts really come together in full circle as far as for
Yeah,
you. So
it's great. It's wonderful to see something that you know, spent so much time on with Tara St. Clair from WVU, and to see it, you know, where she's taken it from there has just been amazing.
yeah, well, thank you, Bill, for your time.
Thanks,
and it's really great to catch up and see you. And so, yeah, appreciate your time.
I definitely appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you all.
right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll be right back with a couple more guests.